Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is that time of year. I'm not just talking about Christmas time. It's time for year-end videos. I look forward to watching and filming this video all year long. I've been seeing them popping up and I'm so excited today to get it started. We're gonna start today with Drugstore, Best of the Drugstore from 2023. And then I'll come back with two more videos, one dedicated to high-end and one dedicated to eyeshadows. Hopefully you guys are excited about it as well. Before we get into the makeup, I wanna give a special welcome to my new visitors here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please consider subscribing to my channel before you leave and make sure your notifications are turned on. And with that said, we have a lot of makeup to get through, so let's get right to it. All right, so we're gonna get started. I will link everything that I'm wearing on my face down below in case I forget to mention it, and I couldn't put everything on that I'm talking about today. But let's start with primers. I have two new primers that I discovered in 2023 that made the cut for this video today. Both of them I love, and I'm actually wearing them both, which I know is a little much, but sometimes I put two primers on because why not? The first one is this. This is from Pacifica. This is their Vegan Collagen Skin Solve Primer. This is a beautiful hydrating primer. If you have very dry skin and you want something that's really gonna prep your skin for foundation, this is a fantastic one. It kind of reminds me of the feel of something along the lines of like the Smashbox Primerizer, my Tarte Glotion Primer that I swear I'm the only one that loves that stuff. It has that same feel. It's very hydrating. It does give you a very soft glow. It kind of comes out in like a very light, kind of peachy, slightly shimmery, iridescent. I wouldn't call it super iridescent, but it does have some sheen, as you can see right there, but it is beautiful on the skin. Doesn't break me out. It feels great. It wears great under all of my foundations. I feel like it keeps my skin hydrated all day long, which I really appreciate, and it smells really nice. It's not a strong scent, but it does have some fragrance to it. So if you're very sensitive to fragrance, just be aware of that. I've been very happy with this. Pacifica did send this to me. They actually sent me quite a bit of products, I think this last year, maybe towards the end of last year. I wasn't wild about everything that they sent me, but this is one of the few things that was an absolute standout. Another primer I have really loved that's quite different. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Liquid Highlighter. I know this technically is a highlighter and not a primer, but I use it as a primer. So this is a near perfect dupe for the Say Glowy Super Gel. If you are familiar with that formula, it's a very lightweight kind of liquidy gel-like formula that has a very strong sheen to it, a really pearly sheen. It's not glittery at all. It just has a very pearly kind of glossy quality to it. I love putting this on just the high points of my face. I'll kind of just rub it here on top of my nose and like right up here above my eyebrows. I wouldn't say it's quite as moisturizing as something like this, but it does provide a little bit of moisture and a ton of shine. And by the way, you get so much product inside here. I mean, I love the Say Glowy Super Gel. I've loved it for a while, but this one gives you a ton more product for a fraction of the price. 1.3 ounces, that is so much. I didn't have success with a lot of foundations from the drugstore this year. I mean, I only tried out about 5 or 6, but the two that made the cut are this one right here. This is actually the one that I'm wearing on my skin today. It's the Revolution Super Serum. Now, the biggest reason I love this stuff is because of the price. You can find this for under $5 at your Walmart if you have a Walmart near you. I think that's the only place that they sell this stuff. So it can be kind of hard to find. They also have a very pitiful shade range. I have the shade F6. It matches me pretty well. I often have to mix it with something else to get it either to be the right undertone or to lighten it up just a little bit, depending on what time of year it is and if I'm self-tanning or not. But I love the formula of this stuff. It's very lightweight, it's very liquidy, but I was amazed when I first tried this at how much coverage this very liquidy foundation has. I was not expecting that, especially from something that was under $5. I'm wearing it on my skin today and I think my skin looks pretty great. So definitely worth the $5 I paid it and more. Another affordable foundation, this one's been around for a while, but it was a new try for me in 2023, is the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation. I'm not sure if this replaced their old glass bottle Flawless Finish Foundation or if there's two finishes now. They actually remind me a lot of each other. I tried that years ago and I liked it. I found myself reaching for this a lot. I think the biggest holdup I had with this when I tried it out several years ago, and the reason I didn't try the new version out for so long is because I felt a little bit tricked when I tried out this foundation, thinking that this was just a normal drugstore foundation for $6, but really they put about half the amount of product in this bottle than what you get in a typical foundation from the drugstore. Kind of annoyed me because it makes this much more like a L'Oreal priced foundation if you're really pricing out per ounce. But that said, once I got over that and really gave this foundation a try, I've been really happy with it. I actually have 3 shades of this now. It's a great foundation from the drugstore that's pretty affordable to have a couple shades around to mix into other foundations to get them to work for you. You guys, if you don't know, I love to concoct my own formulas and colors. I kind of pride myself on taking a foundation that maybe is not quite right and concocting my way into something that will work for me. And this is one of the foundations that I often do that with, but I do like it on its own. It's a really nice natural finish foundation. I think it leans more on the hydrating side. I wouldn't say it's like satin, like super satin or mattifying in any way. And the packaging, though there's not a lot inside, it's a really nice glass bottle and a really nice pump, which is hard to find, not just from the drugstore, even from Sephora in my experience. Let's go through some bronzer. So the first one I want to talk about is the Essence Baby Got Bronze. I've been really happy with this one. It's just a good, cheap cream bronzer from the drugstore. If you are venturing into the world of cream bronzers, this is one I would highly recommend starting with. It's easy to blend. The shade is really good. I have the shade Cinnamon Spice. It's nice and warm. They do have a cooler tone one, but that one I found to be quite a bit too cool for me. I mean, it almost leaned kind of purpley on me. Every time I pull this out, I talk about the smell. I'll try not to talk too much about it now, but I can't not sniff this every time I have it on my desk because it just smells like 1998 to me. It's nice and small. It's great for travel. I actually don't think, I probably like my Milk Makeup one a little bit better, but for the price difference, I mean, this thing is under $5. Definitely worth the price and one I would highly recommend. I also have two liquid bronzers today. Now, I don't use these as much as I use my cream bronzers. I like cream bronzers, generally speaking, a lot more, but I have been very happy with the formula of both of these, starting with the Milani Liquid Contour. So this one is a much warmer shade. I have the shade 01 Honey, but it's still not too warm. You can still contour with this. It is the one that I am wearing on my cheeks today. I'm actually wearing both of these. I have the other one under my jawline, which I almost never contour under my jawline, but I wanted to try on as much as I could. I do really like this one. I think I prefer the shade of this one for me personally because I typically like a warmer bronze than something more sculpting and cool toned. I have issues with this kind of packaging, period, from any brand, even Charlotte Tilbury. It's not that it doesn't work. I just find it to be a little bit cumbersome. I don't know. I just don't like drawing it directly on my cheeks, but you kind of have to do that and then having to blend in. I don't know why I just prefer like going in with a brush on a cream bronzer more than this little spongy thing right here. I don't know. It feels kind of wet when you put it on your skin. It just kind of grosses me out a little bit. It's not even like a germaphobe thing. It just slightly annoys me, although I seem to talk about it all the time. The other one, which has very similar packaging, is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour. I have the shade Fair Light. Now this one is much more cool tone. In fact, I should probably swatch these for you guys so you can see how they compare to each other. So here's the Milani one. You can see it's a nice, light, warm bronze. And then here is the e.l.f. one that you will see is much, much more almost like ashy or purpley. So there they are side by side. Very different depending on what you like more. If you like more of a warm bronze, I'd go with this one. If you like to do more sculpting and contouring, this is a great shade for fair skin. I'm actually surprised at how well this does work for me because normally I stay away from shades that are overly cool tone, but this just blends out so easily that it doesn't look like too much or put down too much pigment to where I just look really hollow and ashy. As for blushes, I have a couple to share. This one right here is the Revolution Blush Duo. I've been raving about this thing for the last 6 months. This one is in the shade Kindness. I love this blush. It is probably one of my most reached for powder blushes since I picked it up. It's absolutely beautiful. I have another shade for them. I think that one's called Sweet. It's much more of like a pink, a lighter pink. This one is just a good kind of nude rose. It's kind of like a peachy nude rose. It's a little bit deeper, almost has a rusty tone to it. It's warm and kind of earthy, and the formula is just so nice. It reminds me of some of my higher end blushes. It goes on well, blends like a dream. It's $3. You cannot beat a $3 blush that performs like a high end. Another blush that happens to be the one I'm wearing today is from Physicians Formula. This was also sent to me, by the way, a couple of the Physicians Formula things that I'm talking about today, they sent me this year, but I would happily buy them all with my own money if I lost them or had to replace them or ran out of them, which I possibly could because I use them a lot. So this is their Butter Glow Pressed Powder and Natural Glow. You can see it has kind of like a some rosy marbling in it, some bronzy marbling in it, and then some champagne, kind of like an Hourglass product. It actually does remind me quite a bit of an Hourglass blush. I don't have a specific shade in mind. Now this one, whenever I swatch it, I always think it looks different swatch than it does on my actual cheeks. It looks a lot more shimmery when I swatch it than what I feel like it looks like on my cheeks. It has a bit of glow in it, but it's not too much. I don't feel like it emphasizes texture in a way that I would expect it to. And the color is just so beautiful. It has this almost like sculpting, maybe even bronzing and highlighting quality to it. This is one of those products that if you don't like to do all 3 steps or if you're in a rush, this could cover all 3, your blush, your bronzer, and your highlighter. It's just kind of that hybrid shade. At least on my skin tone, that's kind of how it works for me. I love it. I think it's so beautiful. The formula is really nice. And the color is very unique. I don't think I have any other blushes that kind of look like this on my cheeks. Another one I've really loved is the Pure Nude Baked Blush. This one is in Berry Cheeks. This is a newer discovery for me, but I am so happy with this formula. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The color's really nice. I was worried this would be too bright on me, but it's just such an easy to blend, lightweight, not overly pigmented formula that I feel like you could build it up and get a lot of pigment if you have the more medium deep skin tone, or go in with a light hand if you are more fair. I love the sheen in these. I think it's so beautiful. They remind me of the MAC mineralized blushes. I know I've said that before, but I'm sure some of you are new here. So in case you're looking for a blush that performs like something more high-end, these do remind me a lot of those MAC blushes, and they are absolutely, I say they, this one. I have another one that I don't like as much. So this one is stunning. It's a beautiful shade, beautiful formula, wonderful price, $5. I have two highlighters to share with you guys today. First off, the Peri Para highlighter. I got this in a K-Beauty order, so I don't know if this technically counts as drugstore, but it was quite affordable. I want to say I got this for around $12. So it's kind of in between drugstore and high-end, but I have really come to love this highlighter right here. Now, I don't know what shade it is. It's 01. Actually, it does have English on the back. It's the shade 01 Day Glory. It's a beautiful kind of champagne shell, icy kind of pink. It's really lightweight. It's very reflective. This is the one that I'm wearing on my cheeks today, and I absolutely love it. I hope I can find this and link it for you guys down below. Fingers crossed I can find it on Amazon, because I know ordering from Yes Style or from Stylevana can be a little bit tricky. It takes a long time. You have to spend quite a bit to get free shipping, but I wanted to talk about it today because I have been using this and loving it over the last year. Another newer highlighter that has quickly risen to the top of my favorite highlighters list is the Essence The Highlighter. This is in the shade 01 Mesmerizing, which is a really nice kind of warm icy champagne. This is a stunning formula. It's very opaque, but it's not glittery at all. It's very intense, but you can easily kind of scale it back or go in with a light hand or level up if you level up. If you want more shine, you can add more. I love this highlighter. I've gotten so much use out of this. I already have a huge dent here in this upper section right here. I imagine this is one that I'll probably hit pan on pretty soon. Highlighter is one of the things that I have a heavy hand when it comes to highlighter. I probably look like a crazy person if you saw me in real life, because I just love putting it on so much. Sometimes I'll add more highlighter later in the day, and even if I'm not going anywhere, just because I like it. I like seeing my cheeks shine for some reason. I think it's very satisfying. But this stuff's super affordable. You can find it for like $3.99 or $4.99. I'm very excited to try out another shade. I actually have one on my floor right now. I just got a package from Ulta that we'll be trying out together very soon, so keep an eye out for that. All right, we better move things along and stop talking so much. Let's go into a mascara. I have just one. It's easily my favorite mascara from 2023, and that's the Flower Beauty Dream Warrior Mascara. I am wearing this mascara on my eyes today, but I do have some lashes on that I'm going to talk about at the end. So you can't really see what it's doing for me, but this is probably one of my most reached for mascaras other than my Tower 28. Lately, I even find myself reaching for this more than that one, partly because I just got a new tube of Tower 28, so I kind of want to preserve it. So I'm trying to use this up in the meantime. It is a great mascara. It gives my volumes a length, volume, lift. It wears well. It doesn't flake or smudge. It's pretty water resistant to some mild watery eyes. I absolutely love this. Now I imagine in the springtime I'll probably move back over to my Maybelline Sky High mascara for its ultra water resistance, but this is a really good one if you have just mildly watery eyes. I have been thrilled with what this does for my lashes. By far my favorite Flower Beauty mascara so far. For the brows, first off, the NYX the brow glue, brow gel. This stuff. I really like this. I actually like both of these shades. I like to use taupe when I am filling in my brows with a pencil or a powder first. This one doesn't give them quite as much color, but if I'm in a hurry and I want something that's much more pigmented and it's gonna actually give my brows some color, I'll use medium brown. It's a great formula. It holds up really well. It's not so wet that it takes too long to dry to where my brows fall back down as the gel is drying. But this has been one of my most reached for brow gels over this last year. Another one that's probably not a surprise to you is the Essence Brow Styling Soap Set. Now I have a tragic story to share about this. I think it has officially been discontinued. I was searching for it the other day and could not find it anywhere. Right after, coincidentally, I got done talking or sort of complaining about, as much as I love Essence, they are one of the brands that discontinues things that I love. This happens to me all the time with the brand Essence, and what do you know, it happened again. I had just ordered a replacement of this. I just got it in the mail the other day, and days later I went to link it and it's discontinued. So I will try to find a replacement for this product, but it is definitely one of my most used and most beloved brow products from 2023. And then last but not least is the Blade Brow from Revolution Beauty. This is a $2.98 brow pencil that you can find at Walmart if they happen to carry this brown there. I have it in the shade brown. I just talked about this in a recent video, but in case you missed it, this reminds me so much in so many ways of the Benefit Precisely My Brow. The formula of it, it's a little bit more on the stiff side. It's very pigmented, but you can be very precise with it. It has a different shape. It's actually kind of it's very slim, but it's more rectangular in shape than the Precisely My Brow is. But I find I get great precision with this. It's not quite as waxy as my Ultra Slim Brow Pencil. That was kind of my old, very favorite. I still like that one, but this one I've been using a lot more than my Ulta this last year. For lip pencils, I have one lip pencil that I'm going to kind of crown my best discovery or try from the drugstore in 2023, and it is the LA Girl Shockwave lip liner. This one is in the shade Mauve. I have used so much of this. It's already gotten very, very small, as you can see. It's a great lip liner formula and lip liner color. It's just one of those, if I'm sitting down to do my makeup and I'm not like wanting to think about what I'm doing, like this works for any occasion. I can use it with a light hand and just get some subtle shaping. I can use it to kind of fill in a little bit more and get a deeper kind of look. Any gloss or lipstick looks amazing on top of it, and it holds up really well. It's very long lasting or budge proof. I have a couple of lip products to share with you guys. First off, the CoverGirl Yummy Gloss. I love this gloss because you get so much gloss in here. It's nice and glossy. It goes with anything. It's more clear than anything, but it smells amazing and it's not too sticky. I actually don't mind a sticky gloss, but it is nice to have one sometimes that gives you a good amount of shine, but your hair's not going to stick to it, which you guys, I have a lot of wild hair. It definitely sticks to my gloss a lot. I have two versions. I have the peach one and the coconut one. I like the coconut one the best. Color-wise, I don't think they look that different on the lips. This one's more of like an orangey peach, kind of clear peach, and that one's more of like a clear light pink. But honestly, they're not that opaque. There's not much color in them, but I love the shine that they give, the smell. They're just a very pleasant lip gloss to use. Another one I've really loved this year is the NYX This Is Milky Gloss. I'm surprised that I like this one as much as I do. Now, my hesitation with this one is its price. It's like $9 or $10 for this bottle of lip gloss that actually has less product inside of it than the NYX Butter Gloss, which I also love. So part of me kind of feels like I probably would recommend the NYX Butter Gloss over this one. This one has a little bit more opaque color. By the way, this one is in Salted Caramel Shake. It is the one that I'm wearing on my lips today along with that lip liner. But I can't deny this thing has spent a lot of time in my purse over the last 6 months since I first tried it out, and I really like the color, especially with a darker lip liner underneath. It smells amazing, which you guys know is very important to me. I have used this thing maybe more than any other drugstore lip gloss over the last 6 or 7 months. And then last but not least, this was from the brand Pacifica. This was also sent to me by Pacifica. This is their vegan collagen lip balm. This is the light pink one. I have a couple shades of this. I actually like them all, but this one has lived in my purse again. I've used this thing a ton this last year, and I really do like these. I actually don't prefer this type of packaging. I like something that has a wand with it. I just think these kind of squeezy glosses can be a little bit messy and tricky to apply. Like I'll get nothing and then all of a sudden I get too much. So they're a little finicky in that way, but I've used this thing a lot. I enjoy using it. It's one that I will probably take back up to my purse when I'm done with this video. One more thing I almost forgot. So this is a drugstore kind of palette, but it's a face palette. This is from BH Cosmetics. This is their Tahiti face palette. Now, I really like this. I like everything inside of her. It's a really good blush, a really good highlighter, and then you get 2 good bronzers in here. My only complaint is I don't mind the smaller size packaging. I just wish this pan size was a tiny bit bigger because I find it to be just a smidge too small to comfortably get a brush to fit inside. It's still usable. I can make it work, but it would be more convenient if the pan sizes were a little bit bigger. But it is one thing that I think really stood out from this last year. I love BH Cosmetics. Not only their eyeshadows, but I think their face products are really good and underrated. Okay, I thought we had one more thing, but I forgot to mention concealers. How could I? Because I have quite a few good concealers from the drugstore that I discovered this last year. Let's start with this one right here. This is from Essence. This is the Keep Me Covered concealer. I really like this concealer. I did not like the foundation. Mostly the color of it was very odd. It was very yellow in tone. Now this concealer is also quite yellow in tone. I have the shade 50 Warm Shell, but it's not too yellow for me, and I really like the coverage and formula of this. It works really well for me. It wears well, and it's so affordable. I love a good affordable anything for that matter, but particularly concealers. If you can find one that's not going to break the bank, I really appreciate it when I can find one for under $5. Another one I loved in 2023 is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer. I love this concealer so much. I've been raving about it all year, as you guys know if you watch me. Such a nice formula. It has a really nice scent. It's super lightweight and blendable. It's just a very easy concealer to wear. It works well under my eyes. It works good on kind of hyperpigmentation on the perimeter of my face. It has good medium coverage. I don't know that it's the highest coverage concealer, but it's pretty high, and it's definitely one I enjoy using and have probably used more than any other concealer that I'm even talking about today. But another one that is a newer discovery for me, but it's also one that I feel like is climbing in the rankings, and that is the Flower Beauty Serum Concealer. The more I use this concealer, the more I'm surprised at how much coverage this concealer has. So it's very liquidy, kind of like the Physicians Formula one is. I would say this has high coverage. I'm amazed at how well this covers some of the more tricky spots that very few concealers will actually cover. Mostly this thing right here. Like this spot that you can barely, just faintly see because I'm wearing this concealer on my face today. Very few things cover it. I think the only 3 things that I have found that do a good job covering that and keeping it covered is the Flower Beauty, my Dior Forever Skin Concealer, and the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Foundation. But one of the things I love about this concealer is it's also very lightweight and kind of runny, so you can use it under your eyes and it's not going to be too cakey or heavy. You can use this anywhere. I use it as an eyeshadow primer and it works great. Their shade range is a little bit odd. I have 3 shades and none of them are quite right for me, but I don't mind concocting my own combination to get something that will work for me. I can definitely do that, and the coverage and formula of this is just very, very impressive from the drugstore. And now for the last thing, a set of lashes. It's the lashes that I'm wearing on my eyes today. I've mentioned these quite a bit over the last year. They're from the brand Eyelure. This is their 3/4 length number 003 Feather Light Fill lashes. These are amazing. Now these are 3/4 length, but I actually trim off I think those first 2 clusters so that they're more half length. So mine end right at the center mark of my eyes. I do have smaller eyes, so these technically go almost all the way into the inner corner on me, and I really don't like when an eyelash band kind of creeps into this inner corner. It's just so uncomfortable that I just can't stand wearing them, let alone applying them, which is always a challenge for me. However, these are not difficult lashes to apply. Now, I have recommended before in years past these other Eyelure lashes that are very hard to find. You can still find these on Amazon. They're quite a bit more expensive. I do still love these. I do still recommend these. These ones are going to give you a little bit more of a dramatic look while still being kind of natural, but these ones give you just the perfect extra touch to your lashes that looks natural. It feels natural. This band, you guys, is the thinnest band you will ever find. In fact, when I put my lashes on my desk, like when I'm not wearing them, I'll put them together and it still looks like it's a thin band, and I don't even realize that that's 2 pairs of lashes right there because they're so tiny. You cannot feel them on your eyes. They apply so easily, and they just give your eyes that little extra kind of outer corner flare that I absolutely love. And that is it, you guys. Those are all the drugstore favorites from the year 2023. What do you guys think of my list? If there's stuff that you tried out this year that I have not yet tried out, and maybe you think I would love it, let me know what those are down below. I'm sure there's tons of drugstore makeup that I am missing out on. Who can keep up with it all, honestly? So I'd love to know what your recommendations are, what your favorites were down below. Merry Christmas to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. I have seen these videos pooping. Whoa. So I didn't say pooping. I'm sorry. A lot of potty humor in this house. I have 3 boys.